Alright, my name is Dylan Stevens, and today I'll be presenting the Chinese New Year. First of all, I just want to apologize for all the words I'm about to mispronounce, and also I'd like to apologize for the amount of slides I have in this presentation. I don't have quite the required amount. First of all, we're going to take a look at when is the Chinese New Year. Believe it or not, the Chinese New Year actually does not have a set date. But the Chinese New Year is the same as ours. It's the first day of the first month in their traditional calendar, which is different than ours. It is different than ours in ancient times. They used to use the lunar solar calendar, which indicates both phases of the moon as well as the time of the solar year. They actually, every now and then, they actually add in a extra month. And that's because the lunar calendar is 2 days shorter than the solar calendar. So that's what causes the Chinese New Year to land on different dates. Now we're going to take a look at where is the Chinese New Year. And when I say where, I mean where is it celebrated. The Chinese New Year obviously is celebrated all across East Asia in Chinese, Vietnamese, and Korean communities. If they do not live in China, they consider it the Spring Festival. But many people don't realize that the Chinese New Year is actually global. They actually celebrate it in anywhere where there's a sizable East Asian population. For example, San Francisco's first Chinese New Year's were held in 1860s, and Los Angeles Golden Dragon is going on its 17th year. So that gives you a little bit of insight of how far along it's came over in the United States. And also, this might surprise people, but we focus on the Latin American immigration over here, but the Asian American population is actually the fastest growing, and it actually accounts for about 6.4% or more than 20.5 million of the United States population. So that's actually a lot more than what I thought it was before researching. Next, we're going to check out the history of the Chinese New Year and a little bit of a timeline of their celebration, sort of, and how they looked at the Chinese New Year. The Chinese New Year has actually been around for almost 4,000 years. However, the date wasn't fixed until the Han Dynasty, and the Emperor Wu Dai commanded the lunar calendar. So he fixed the lunar calendar, making it a fixed calendar, not actually a fixed date. The festival goes by several names. Bear with me, the Yanqin, the Yanri, and the Yandan. And then in the earlier years, it was more about worshiping, and that was the main focus of their festival. It wasn't so much entertainment as it is today. They would actually go and pray, and they would give up their food, clothing, and sort of to worship a higher power or their god. And they would go even as far as human sacrifices back in the ancient times and stuff like that. So that's pretty crazy. I guess they were very respectful towards their god, I guess. And you'll see that throughout their history. But like I said before, it was at the beginning you worship more. So it didn't... The Han Dynasty was the first to really bring in entertainment and really make it a celebration. And then actually in 1912, the government tried to do away with the lunar calendar, but so many people were unwilling to switch, so they couldn't do that. So nowadays they actually have both the Gregorian calendar and the lunar calendar. So they use the Gregorian calendar during like formal settings, more like school organizations and factories, as you can see. And then they use like the lunar calendar just for celebrations and just dates and just traditions and stuff like that. Now we're going to move on to like the Chinese zodiac, which is the animals that which a lot of people know about. There's 12 zodiac signs or animals. Each of them stand for a 12-year cycle, so they stand for a year in a 12-year cycle. Those 12 animals are the rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. These zodiac signs were carefully chosen in ancient times to relate to the Chinese people and their daily lives and the animals' daily habits. So they would intertwine those and they would pick a zodiac sign from that. And all their zodiac signs sort of have a lucky meaning, or they mean some type of good fortune. Oh, I'm doing a presentation. I don't not data. I'm doing a final. Like I can't talk. God. Fuck. Go. God. Fucking talk. Pisses me